Exclusive Trump eyeing stepped-up Venezuela sanctions for foreign companies. Bolton, Washington. Reuters. U.S. President Donald Trump is considering imposing sanctions on companies from other countries that do business with Venezuela to cut off revenues to President Nicolas Maduro, Trump's national security advisor John Bolton told Reuters TV on Friday. The United States and most other Western countries have thrown their backing behind Venezuelan opposition leader Juan Guaido, who invoked the Constitution in January to declare himself interim president, arguing that Maduro's 2018 re-election was illegitimate. Oil provides 90% of export revenue for OPEC member Venezuela. The United States. The Trump administration has not yet slapped sanctions on companies from other countries that do business with PDVSA, but U.S. officials have been having conversations with oil trading houses and governments around the world to convince them to scale down their dealings with Maduro, Trump's Venezuela envoy Elliot Abrams said earlier on Friday. Monroe Doctrina. Russia and China support Maduro, who has said Guaido is a puppet of Washington. Maduro retains, Bolton said. He was not concerned that the push to oust Maduro was losing momentum. Trump is looking at options, including sanctions to respond to Russia's growing military presence in Venezuela, Bolton said. Two Russian Air Force were. And if Venezuela's economic crisis, which has caused shortages of food and medicine, has pushed millions of people to flee the country. Trump is considering granting temporary protection from deportation to the more than 70,000 Venezuelans believed to be in the United States, but wants to focus first on ensuring there is a transition in the government of the country, Bolton said. Reporting by Steve Holland and Roberta Rampton, editing by Rosalba O'Brien and Tom Brown.
Raindrop, drop top, smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park pot.